Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. We are just getting everyone joined in, and my name is Anissa Barton-Thompson, and I'm the social media specialist for the College of Extended and International Education here at California State University, Dominguez Hills, and I'll be your host for this presentation, so welcome. This webinar is being recorded and will be available on our website and social media resources shortly after today's session. We're also live streaming on YouTube. Feel free to download the Community College Teaching Certificate Program Information Kit for details about the program and additional resources covered in the webinar. The address is bit.ly/CSUDH-CCTC-InfoKit. We have provided a link in the chat for those who are participating live. It will also be available via a follow-up email to attendees as well as on our website. So before we jump in, I'd like to review the Zoom controls. This session is being presented in a webinar format, so you don't need to worry about connecting your microphone or your camera. However, we want your participation. So help us address your needs. Use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen if you're joining us from the Zoom desktop app or the web browser, or in the top right of your screen if you're on a mobile device. So we want you to ask your questions in the Q&A panel rather than in the chat panel. In that chat panel, we will be providing links and other helpful information. Once you click the Q&A button, a dialog box will open, allowing you to type your question in. Our marketing staff members, Stephanie Bukian and Keith Otterberg, and Special Sessions Coordinator Shirley Jones are standing by to assist. We'll be answering those questions at the end of the session, although often you may find the question you have has been answered during the course of the program overviews. With that being said, let's take a quick look at our session's agenda. We'll begin by meeting our certificate faculty, who will introduce you to the program via an overview of benefits, expectations, and course details. Then we'll go over the registration and login information and address your questions in the Q&A session. Please be aware that depending on the number of questions we have, we might extend the time to accommodate everyone. And now to lead off our session, I'll turn us over to Dr. Rodger McGinness. Dr. McGinness, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rodger McGinness. I'm one of the instructors in the program. I began my educational career after high school by attending Southwest Texas Junior College in Uvalde, Texas. I'm sure you've heard of Uvalde. I went on to earn a bachelor's degree, a couple of master's degrees, and a doctor of education from UCLA. My teaching experience includes many years of classroom teaching for both public and private colleges and universities at the undergraduate and graduate level. My administrative experience includes over 10 years as department chair, dean of academic affairs, and finally, vice president of academic affairs. Welcome, everyone.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ramon Baltazar, and I am one of your instructors. Good morning, and nice of you to join us. I have been with the CCTC program since 2007. My background, I have an MBA. I have 20 years of experience in operations management in private industry, electronics, and cosmetics. My positions range from production supervision up to contract administration. I started teaching in 2004 at Los Angeles Harbor College, and currently I'm at also Los Angeles Harbor College, North Orange County Community College District, and currently I am the chair of the business department at Bethesda Christian University, both grad and undergrad. I am a product of the CCTC program here at Cal State Dominguez, batch of 2004. And I joined CCTC faculty in 2007. I hope to see you in GED 549, the community college.
Hello, my name is Carman Wimsatt, and I'm a newly hired internship coordinator for the community college teaching program here at CSUDH. I have a bachelor's degree in sociology from UC Berkeley and a master's degree in psychology from Pepperdine University. I began teaching for the Los Angeles Community College District, specifically Pierce College, about 21 years ago in the psych department with a focus on statistics and research methods. I have 10 years experience in internship coordination with the district in Project Match as a mentee myself, a mentor, and a program developer. As an intern for community college teaching, I can tell you it was a major part in helping me to begin my career as a community college professor.
Thank you. Now that you've met the program faculty, you must be interested in the subject that you're qualified to teach at the community college level. That's very important. To do this, we have to look at the California State Disciplines List. The disciplines list reveals the minimum qualifications for community college teaching, counselors, and librarians. We call these the MQs, the minimum qualifications. So you'll hear us use the term MQs quite a bit. The disciplines list replaces the old system of credentials. So if you have the word credential in your mind, that now is obsolete. The key to your MQs is the exact topic that's printed on your master's degree diploma. Sometimes the topic printed on your bachelor's diploma will also help get you qualified to teach at the community college level. Now be careful. What is printed on your two diplomas may not be what you think your major was. For example, I majored in corporate finance, but the topic printed on my bachelor's degree diploma simply says business. We'll have you access the minimum qualifications handbook to research your MQs. We'll give you instructions on how to do this later in the program. Now, there may be a case where you earned your degree at a foreign university. That's not a problem. You merely have your transcripts evaluated for equivalency to a degree from a U.S. institution. The state of California has a list of agencies that do this. This is approved by the Commission for Foreign Transcript Evaluation. There is a fee for this particular service, however. Now, after your transcripts are evaluated, you can then go to the disciplines list to determine your MQs. On the screen now, you'll see a poll we will use to determine your familiarity with the MQs. The poll says, how familiar are you with the minimum qualifications? Your choices are, I'm not familiar at all. I know what MQs are, but I'm not sure where to start. I've researched my MQs before, but I need some clarification. And finally, I'm very familiar with MQs and I'm ready to jumpstart my career. So we'll give you a few minutes to make your choice on this poll, and then later on in the program, we'll give you the results.
Go ahead, Ramon.
All right. Now that you are done with the MQs, let's move on to the program objectives. The program objectives and benefits of the CCTC program is we prepare students for teaching, improve job readiness. We promote understanding the mission and function of the community college. We develop your teaching skills and strategies, and we provide advice and guidance, as well as support student candidacy. By the way, this certificate is not required to teach at the community college. However, successfully completing this program makes you competitive because we eliminate the unknowns. It increases your confidence, and in other words, we help you hit the ground running. Most of your academic deans, chairs, and program managers expect you to have the basics already when you get hired or even at internship.
So now let's take a look at the program. It consists of 3 graduate level graded courses. First, there's the GED 549, the community college about community college system, this course is. It's 2 units. It provides extensive background on the community college mission, the function, and the operation. Second, there's the GED 548, effective college teaching, and it addresses pedagogy and andragogy. It's a 3-unit course that covers everything required for college teaching, syllabus construction, assignments, grading, and much more. Third, there is GED 594, the Community College Teaching Internship, and it's the capstone of the 3 series. It's a 3-unit independent study course that is your entire look into the community college. We will cover this in detail shortly. Now, please note, the program consists of 2 academic courses, as mentioned, that's GED 548 and 549, followed by a teaching internship, 594. Completing GED 548 and 549, each with a grade of B or better, is a prerequisite for the internship course, 594. You cannot sign up for the internship without first successfully completing the required academic courses and receiving enrollment approval. Next, Professor Baltazar will discuss the program admission requirements.
Thank you, Carmen. We're now here to discuss what the admission qualifications are for the community college teaching certificate. First, you should have earned your master's degree or doctorate degree in the discipline you want to teach as designated by the discipline list or minimum qualification handbook. Or, here's another way, or be in the last semester of completing your master's or doctoral degree in the subject that you seek to teach in. And then lastly, okay, or have any degree and 6 years of experience in a designated CTE, or what we call career technical education area. Some vocational disciplines only require a bachelor's or associate's degree with a couple of years of professional experience. For some disciplines, any degree, any professional experience satisfies the MQs to teach in the discipline. We will address this later in the session. Okay, we will show you how to research this later. Okay, and so stick around for the Q&A session. Now that we have a better understanding of the admissions qualification, let's take a look at the 3 courses of the community college certificate. The first course is GED 549, the community college, an overview of history, mission, and function of the community college. Here is the book that we will be using. It's the American Community College, 6th edition, okay, by Arthur Cohan, Brower, and Kuster. In general, this course is made out of 4 parts. It will show us the history of the community college, and then it will show us the students, our target, and then also it will elaborate on who we are as faculty. And then finally, we'll look at the structure, the bureaucracy, organization, and curriculum in the community college. And now, Dr. Rodger McGinness will discuss the second course in the program, GED 548.
GED 548 is the effective teaching course. This course focuses on teaching at the college level. We start by identifying the most difficult concept for students to master in your community college course that you want to teach. That forms the context for the development of everything in your course as an effective teacher. Specific topics that we cover and develop include syllabus development, textbook selection, lecture preparation and delivery, teaching style, assignment development, including exam preparation, discussions conducted live, evaluation of written assignments, and handling student issues in the classroom. Now let's talk about course scheduling. Ramon.
Hi. Course scheduling and delivery, GED 549 and 548. These will be multiple modalities. Asynchronous online, complete work online each week on your own schedule. It will also be synchronous, which means attending student-led live online class sessions each week, conducted at daytime, indicated on the program schedule. Okay. Please check your program kit for further instructions on the schedule. Class expectations are that you complete the weekly assignments. Participation is required and only 1 absence is permitted. And now we're moving on to the teaching internship experience.
Yes, thank you, Ramon. The GED 594 Community College Teaching Internship course, the 3rd course, is an independent study course that consists of supervision by the faculty mentor you selected. It's potentially a semester-long job interview, as the department chair where you are an intern may consider you to teach a future course based on your performance. And 3rd, the performance is evaluated by your internship coordinator, which would be myself. This comprises the teaching internship experience. Now let's take a different dive into the process for searching for that internship. There is a flow chart, if you will, here to look at that process. The goal boxes demonstrate the start, beginning with an understanding of your minimum qualifications, as mentioned before, and ends with your earned community college teaching certificate. All right. Let's take a look at the process of seeking a faculty mentor teacher. Students will enroll in GED 548 and 549, not at the same time, one or the other, and it doesn't matter which order. I just want to make sure that's clear. It is at this time, while the student is already in 548 or 549, that students are asked to begin contacting department chairs and faculty members who teach with their chosen community colleges for the opportunity to intern during your third and final course. We ask that students consider interning with community colleges that are nearby. We know that modalities change. It could be online and it also could be face-to-face. The student contacts a mentor faculty of their choice, community college, which could be a department chair or a senior faculty member. In most cases, the campaign for an internship will take a few tries, but eventually a faculty member agrees. Now, following the acceptance by the mentor faculty, there's paperwork involved. This begins with the student informing the internship coordinator of the following items. I need the name and the contact information of the mentor, the course name and number, the name and contact information of the supervising administrator, which in most cases is the department chair. The student submits the internship application once all course prerequisites are made and the internship is confirmed. So there are 4 items required: the application itself, your teaching philosophy, which is a 400 to 500 word statement, a copy of your master's degree, and 2 letters of recommendation on letterhead. Those recommendations can be from a teaching supervisor or former faculty in your course of study concentration, or anywhere where you have connections. Ask your GED 548 and 549 instructors in this program for a recommendation as well. They will gladly assist. If you're currently completing a master's degree, then your transcript showing that you are in the last course of your degree is required. Now, as the internship coordinator, I will validate your application by reviewing the documents for accuracy, verifying successful completion of the prerequisite courses, and contacting your college for internship verification and document signatures. Once the internship is acquired and the application is complete, the student is given permission to register for the third and final course in the certificate program. The internship course includes a few course assignments, remember it is independent study, and an on-site teaching evaluation if applicable. And finally, once the student completes the internship and the course with a grade of B or higher, the student applies for the community college teaching certificate, and we offer our congratulations. The entire process begins and ends with your course instructors and your internship coordinator assisting you the entire way. Students will be reminded of the GED 594 independent study requirements during their enrollment in the prerequisite courses. Rodger will now discuss with you your minimum qualifications.
Let's review the results of our poll that we took earlier in the session. we should see the results. The question was, how familiar are you with your minimum qualifications? It looks like 45% responded, I'm not familiar at all. This is the first time I've heard about them. 25% say, I know what the MQs are, but I'm not sure where to start. 15% says, I've researched the MQs before, but I need some clarification. And 15% said, I'm very familiar with the MQs and ready to jumpstart. That's great. Now that you have an understanding of the program and you're ready to verify what you're qualified to teach, let's make sure you can find the disciplines list in the MQ handbook. An information kit was sent to you when you registered for this information session. You can also find it online at the link shown at the bottom of this slide in gold lettering, I believe it is. On page 3, now I'm back to the information kit. On page 3, you will find a clickable link for the current minimum qualifications handbook. In the minimum qualifications handbook, on page 11, you will see a column titled Disciplines List. The disciplines list is organized in alphabetical order. Scroll down to find the discipline or the area or topic that you want to teach. To the right are 3 columns highlighted in shades of blue. Notice that the headings of each column specify the education required to teach that particular topic. Column 1 is titled Master's Degree Required. Column 2, a specific bachelor or associate's degree and professional experience related to the topic to be taught. And the 3rd column says any degree and professional experience related to the subject to be taught. So review the minimum qualifications to see if you meet the MQs for the subject you want to teach. Now remember, what is printed on your bachelor and master's diploma is the key. Now, there may be a situation where you don't have the specific degree mentioned in the disciplines list. Don't panic, all hope is not lost. The MQ handbook provides additional avenues to help you satisfy the MQs. We call these equivalencies. So you may still be able to teach the topic that you want to teach. This is accomplished through a combination of your bachelor's and master's degree. Here's a couple of examples that we run into quite a bit. An individual has a Master of Public Administration, an MPA, and has decided they would like to teach business courses. You can meet the MQs if you look at what it says in the disciplines list. If you have a Master of Public Administration, and a bachelor's in any of the topics such as business administration, business management, accountancy, finance, marketing, or business education, you probably meet the MQs to teach in business. So another area that we have found is individuals with a master's degree in social work. That's a classic case. Individuals with a master's degree in social work usually seek to teach courses in sociology. The MQs only will be satisfied if your bachelor's degree is in sociology and not social work as the same as your master's degree. We'll answer questions later in the program regarding specific cases. Now, Mr. Baltazar will talk about a few other areas that are subject to some interpretation.
Thank you. In this particular area, we are going to discuss a teaching area of community college called Career Technical Education, or CTE. If you look at the chart, the ones in white denote some areas that don't actually have a master's degree in. For example, electronic technology, electronics, electroplating, emergency medical service, or for example, plumbing, okay? The next one, it doesn't have a degree, but here in the grayish blue area, you have any degree or professional experience is okay, okay? You can find these in page 58 of the Minimum Requirements Handbook. These are disciplines requiring any degree plus professional experience. Any bachelor's, 2 years experience and professional discipline, and any associate's degree and 6 years of professional experience in any discipline, including associates, okay? Now, again, there are many degrees that do not, there are many areas in career technical education that do not have a specific master's degree. So we will look at those later on. Okay, Rodger will now discuss the employment requirements.
After satisfying the minimum qualifications, there are employment requirements that you must satisfy to actually become a faculty. These are usually processed after you've been hired. So the sequence would be you satisfy the MQs, you're hired as a faculty, and then we'll look at the employment requirements. First thing is a criminal background check. This is usually done with live scan fingerprinting. So what we're looking for is that you have a clean record, no criminal convictions. Second is the health screen. This is the TB test. It's required for all teachers in California from K-12 as well as up through the university level. If you are from a foreign country, perhaps you also have to clear the eligibility verification, which is the Customs and Immigration Service form. I believe it's I-19. Now, those are the main requirements for employment after you've been hired. Let's talk about the benefits of the program for students. Carmen.
Recap and look at what the program is. Oh, wait, let me make sure I'm not muted. I think I'm muted. 1 moment. Oh no, I'm not muted. Okay. So let's take a look at what the program is and what it is not. So the community college teaching program is not an employment placement service. It is a graduate education program. You must find your own faculty mentor in a community college. The community college teaching certificate doesn't qualify you for teaching. Only meeting the minimum qualifications will do that. Any district may have additional qualifications required for you to meet eligibility. Here are the benefits of completing this program. First, you will have an understanding of how the community college system works. You will develop a syllabus for your course that meets state standards. You will have practiced your lecture style. You will have identified your teaching strengths and areas for improvement. You will have become aware of potential problem areas of student interactions, completed a semester-long internship, and networked with faculty. You will have developed a rapport with your mentor teacher and discipline department. You will have established your credibility as a community college instructor. And lastly, you will have greatly increased your confidence in your teaching abilities. Now I'll turn things over to Anissa, who's going to review your online access and registration details.
you, Carmen. Thank you, Rodger and Ramon. This is a great overview of the program. And we're going to come back to all of our instructors momentarily for our Q&A segment. But first, let's take a quick look at the course delivery and registration details. Now, almost all of the CSUDH extended education programs have an online component, which means that students are assigned online access through our campus's IT services. Each student will need login credentials to access our student portal called My CSUDH. This portal includes our learning management system, where course content is distributed, Toro Mail, which is our Gmail-based student email system, and the Zoom web conferencing tool. These login credentials, which consist of your username, email, account, and password, are issued through our registration office approximately 2 to 3 business days after registration in your first course. Enrollment is available from our extended education registration office Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. We highly recommend that you register early to make sure that there's space in the courses you want and to allow enough time for course information and online access details to be created and distributed. Payment is due at the time of registration. You can pay for courses individually or for multiple courses at once. The federal WIOA, that's W-I-O-A, Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, provides funding through the California EDD Department for qualifying students who are currently either unemployed or seeking career training. For more information, please email wioa@csudh.edu or visit our program website for more information. If you need any additional financial assistance, please Google private student loan providers or connect with salliemay.com for student loan details. Again, we recommend that you register at least 1 week before the course begins and check your Toro Mail and personal emails frequently for special instructions and campus notifications. You'll also want to be sure to test your account access in the learning management system and get comfortable with the layout of the class, such as where to find announcements, Zoom meeting schedules, discussions, and the like. And let us know via our academic technology services if you're having any difficulty getting connected. So now we'll get ready for our Q&A segment. And we just want to remind everyone to please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to ask your questions. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and stop our share. Let's see. And I'm going to ask all of our presenters to unmute. Make sure that everyone can hear. Okay, and we have quite a few questions that are coming in. So I want to start off with one that's pretty common. There is a question about if someone is already teaching or already working at a university level, how would this community college teaching certificate benefit them at the university level? Rodger, why don't you take this one?
Okay, if they're already teaching, this will help them improve specific techniques in terms of their lecture style and interaction with the students. Also, these courses generally count towards salary improvement, salary increase, which is also a tremendous benefit in the long run.
Okay.
Not to mention, it is also, it qualifies as part of being faculty training that we are all required to do certain hours every year.
The flex.
The flex. And so also another value to this is every faculty member goes through a salary scale. This could qualify you for the next level to increase your salary in the, at least in the community college level.
Okay. We have a question. If someone wants to teach, Don is asking if he would like to teach 2 subjects, is that possible? Is that all dependent upon the MQs and their degree as well?
Right. It depends on how closely related the two subjects are. If they're not closely related, it is not usually possible to do that. For example, if you teach mathematics and you want to teach history, that crossing departmental lines like that is generally a no-no.
Okay. But if it
I
is,
can add
go ahead,
that,
Carmen.
yeah, I teach in the psych department, but because I have a bachelor's in sociology and a master's in psychology, I can also teach in the sociology department. And that's the beauty of really going over your minimum qualifications, similar to what Rodger said. If they're close, then it's likely you can teach in different departments, i.e. different subjects.
All right, let me just add a little more detail to that. We are always dealing with a lot of exceptions. There will be often times when in the department, we experience a lot of changeover, a lot of people leaving for maternity. And every once in a while, as long as it is within the same department, your chair or dean has a discretion to move you between subject matters, because in reality, that should be a no-no. But in theory, that should be a no-no. But in reality, because of the necessity, sometimes your chair or dean or program manager has the flexibility of moving you from one slot to the other. Again, it's always exceptions.
Okay. We have a couple of similar questions from a few of our attendees. Leah and a few others are asking, how often do students find work as an adjunct professor once they've completed this type of program?
Well, from a measurement standpoint, often is not a way we measure that. It is cyclical. Let me say it this way: we have the fall semester, spring semester, intersession, summer session, full-time, part-time, various venues for becoming an instructor. So the data generally shows, yeah,
it's very sketchy.
that continuous employment sometimes is not the avenue to a full-time teaching position. See, I'm not sure if the question was directed at a part-time assignment or a full-time assignment, but if the individual becomes a part-time instructor, the chances of moving into a full-time position increase significantly. Wouldn't you say, Carmen, Ramon?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
The idea is to try and get into what we call, every department has what we call a faculty adjunct pool. To get your name in there, the chair knows you're qualified, and normally it's that group that he picks on every time there's also, just in case, if it's an emergency or contingency. Now, let me give you an example. Mr. Baltazar I would be calling myself a contingency faculty. I'm adjunct over there. I've retained assignments for the last almost 20 years. But anytime, especially for offsite or high school, what we call AP classes, I get a phone call 2 weeks before opening of classes. They'll say, Ramon, are you available? I act as a contingency because it's always sometimes that way. You have a job when you have an emergency, or you hate somebody gets killed, but then again, they always need somebody to substitute. That seems to be the case. But in reality, there can be a big avenue for you when you are qualified, you've been tested and proven by many of your deans and chairs. It snowballs into many different assignments. Okay.
Absolutely.
I just like to add that this program gets you into the department and it gets you on campus. That note of building rapport is key. No one knows you're interested in teaching until you contact department chairs and faculty. And Southern California is rich with multiple universities, and we teach you how to do that. So as a part-time instructor myself, I've been teaching for 20 years. You start off as an instructor, and then for the district, Los Angeles Community College District, I have what I call part-time tenure. They have to give me my one class, right? And I love it. I love that. But if you want to move into a full-time, now that you're in that pool, you have a greater opportunity. So all of you interested in teaching the community college, this is exactly where you start. And you start better than most because you have a well-developed understanding of what's required. There was something said in a previous question I just want to readdress. The community college is unique. So even if you're teaching at the university level, it's very different to work with community college students. And so that internship at the community college and on the community college campus is essential to understanding the needs of community college students, which could be literally ages 12 to 55 in one class. And you need to really understand what that means. So I just want to say you're starting off in an excellent way by being here and allowing us to help you see the needs of the community college district and how you'll be successful in it.
Exactly. So we have a few questions. I see Lauren and Christian are asking, and I'm going to do a little bit of a clarification in their questions. They ask, is this certification valid outside of California? Does it apply to other states? Let me start off by saying that it is not a certification. So if you can maybe make this a two-part and say the difference between a certificate and a certification, one, and two, how does this apply to outside of the state of California as well?
Ramon, you're really good on certifications in industry, in CTE areas. Go ahead.
The certification that I think our student is talking about is if it gives them any kind of advantage in another state. Now, I do not know of any other state that probably yet recognizes our certification, our certificate, but it does, in fact, anecdotal, okay? Everybody that hears that you have gone through a program like ours is not necessarily impressed, but they recognize it as a training ground for future teachers. And here's the thing. Most chairs and program managers are busy. They don't have time to train you. When you get to the community college level, and I'm pretty sure this is common in any state, they want you to be a plug and play person. They assign you to a class and you know exactly what to do already.
Right.
I think many of our students can manage a class right away. The moment they get out of internship, they've experienced it already. Versus a person that has completely blank, no experience. It's very hard. You have to master the paperwork. You have to master the technology. You have to master a lot of different things, including your submissions. We try to give you that experience while you're at CCTC.
Okay.
A certificate, our certificate means you have completed
Yes.
a core of classes. A certification, like industry certification, means that you've taken a test, you've performed, like in plumbing, you've performed a certain set of skills, and you're certified in that particular area. So our certificate is like a mini degree in community college teaching.
Yes, it's a form. It says that you've been formally trained in course content delivery, which, let's be real, you can have your master's degree and your PhD and have no idea what to do as a teacher. In my years of experience, I've seen students graduate, I'll say, from Stanford University, walk right into the community college and only lasted about 2 to 3 weeks.
Right.
They did not have the training they needed to be prepared for what teaching really requires. And so this program is unique and amazing because it will never lead you into a class without that. And when a department chair needs to decide on the decision, just as Ramon has mentioned, they're going to see that you actually have formal training in what's expected in that class, and it'll give you a leg up in being chosen for that for that position. Excuse me.
Right. We have an interesting question from Wayne. I've never seen this question before. He says, I see several California community colleges require 2 MAs as an MQ. Does this certificate replace the second MA requirements? Okay.
I've never seen a requirement for 2 MAs. That's one. Number two, the certificate does not substitute for any MA.
Let me say, as we mentioned, as even Ramon mentioned earlier, there may be additional requirements at the campus level. For example, there's a particular area in biology called bioinformatics, and that at the campus level, the department faculty may want the candidate that teaches that course to have not only a degree, a master's in biology, but perhaps a master's in statistics, because it melds the two. So that's just one example at the local level, but I don't know that exists at the state level.
Yeah, maybe one of the things that I've noticed, folks, is more and more now schools would like you to have an area of specialization, so that yes, maybe you have a higher degree you have a higher degree in, let's say, business or management, but they want you to have some kind of specialization in a particular area. Like, for example, the buzzword is the supply chain management areas now. So maybe that's what you're referring to. Yes, general is okay, but when you get now to the actual teaching, some of them want you to have a specific to have a specific area of concentration that they'd like you to participate in. You know, we source faculty, especially now when we're hiring faculty. Most of the time, we look for a particular subject that a person is an expert in. Yes, you can teach business in general, but we have you teaching operations management. Do you have something that can show us that you have a degree in that also? Okay.
We have a couple of questions that are similar. I'm going to go with Monica's questions. She says, good morning. Will the certificate specify the area I want to teach? I have a master's in child development and a bachelor in psychology, and may be interested in teaching both. So there are actually quite a few folks in the Q&A who could go in multiple directions. What are your recommendations there?
Well, generally, oh, go ahead, Ramon.
No, education and child development is a particular area of psychology. And psychology. Like I said, it all depends. Again, if you have both of those, it's a plus. If you are visible to a psychology dean or chair and he needs or she needs faculty right away, you see, it takes so long to qualify a person, to interview and to source faculty. If somebody is already available on campus that can teach that, they would normally go to somebody that's already they know, rather than somebody outside that they still need to qualify for. And so that makes you a step up ahead of anybody else that does not have those two majors.
Okay. Let's go with a few questions regarding the internship. So Teresa asks, does the internship involve co-teaching with the mentor, one's own class, or shadowing? Or is it a combination?
I would say it's co-teaching and shadowing. So you are often, depending on the faculty mentor, they may give you the entire class, but they'll be there every session. That happened to me. It was amazing. Or you may have a faculty mentor that says, hey, I need you to teach a few lectures here, grade a few papers there, and they're really hands-on and governing your course experience. But you will not be alone. You will either co-teach or you will shadow in a portion.
Okay. And Marietta asks, can we participate in multiple internships in one class or only one internship per class? And I think maybe they're pointing to just the 94.
Right, just one class and one internship is required to earn the certificate. But what I've noticed, and Rodger and Ramon can chime in on that, is that I've noticed that students have gone out and in the process of actually acquiring an internship, you might be offered a class.
Absolutely.
You take that class and you let me know, and I will come and I will provide the evaluation. We'll make sure there's a faculty mentor to evaluate you because you need the feedback But the reality is, because you have that master's and you qualify to teach in that department, and you've shown up the way we are going to assist you in doing so, you may be given that course. So
Correct.
really the idea of the internship is a map and a guide to get you into that classroom and to get you onto that campus. So don't worry about the number of internships. You really want to work and actually be hired. And this is a pathway of doing so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let me just add something to that real quick. It gives you an advantage. I know the official internship is one-to-one with you and your mentor, but never oversee or never overlook the opportunity to be of help to the other faculty members. Because when you become an assistant to somebody else besides the official mentor that you have visibility. And when
Yes.
they choose a faculty member that they would like to probably bring in, you have so many votes for you rather than just one person is an advantage.
Okay. Christian Finley asks, does the internship have to be within the subject you are interested in? So that's an interesting take.
Well, let me, and then Carmen will finish up with this. Let me just say, the whole point is to get you with a mentor teacher and networking with the department so that you will be offered, hopefully, a position for pay. Doing it in an area that's another area doesn't really. Carmen, what you go? You take it from here.
Well, I want to go back to minimum qualifications. And I think the term interest is sort of key here. I would love to teach child development. I'm interested in child development, but I do not meet the minimum qualifications to teach in child development. So oftentimes, one might discover that their master's and the combination of their master's and bachelor's degree says, here is where the district allows you to teach. And then you have to decide, do I want to teach that subject? But you teach according to your professional degree. And that degree says you have mastered this subject. And so therefore you are qualified to teach in it. It's not based on what you're interested in. Now, I want to add something that Ramon said. Within that department, of course, there's several courses. I teach statistics and research methods because I happen to love numbers, but there's also social psychology, right? And so within your department, you may discover other courses you're qualified to teach that vary. So first you start with your minimum qualifications.
Okay. Juan asks, can we do an internship at our own current university, or does it have to be a community college?
It has to be a community college.
Okay. And let's shift a little bit to this question of single subject credentials. And I know, Rodger, you kind of addressed this early on in the beginning of the session. Elizabeth has a single subject credential in Spanish, and she's working on completing, she's in her last semester of her master's degree. How does this work in conjunction with the single subject credential? Is the single subject credential still required to teach at community college level, and so on? And can you just give us a little bit more of a breakdown on that?
Yeah, credentials became obsolete, I think, in 1989. 81, and they were replaced with the MQ system, the minimum qualification system. So they're on the application for employment, there's not even a box to check for credentials. So they are like saying, I have a driver's license. Well, that's nice, but that's obsolete in terms of qualifying to teach at the community college level. The only thing, I don't know if we want to get into this, is no, I'm not even going to mention that. So
I was just going to add that K through 12 looks at credential, but higher ed looks at your degree. And so if you look at it that way, you can understand that they don't really cross over. And I think they had to end that terminology for higher ed so people would not get them mixed. So your K through 12 looks for that credential, right? And it could be subject, it could be multi-subject, but higher ed looks at your degree.
Okay. I'm shifting back and forth between the 548, 549 and the internship transition. So we had a question about how soon should someone be looking to locate their faculty mentor? And is that a part of the 548 or 549 process as well? Do you address that in your courses in order for them, Rodger and Ramon, in order to lead into Carmen's?
Yes. 549, the community college, towards the tail end of the course, I will already start telling them about the internship course. And part of that is how to look for a mentor, how to look for a college, because it is like a job application. It is like looking for a job in itself. So I will help them with that. In fact, I will help them try and prepare already their resumes and their cover letters at this point also in 549.
Yeah, in 548, I also have them. One of the assignments is to develop their teaching philosophy and where they're going with their career, and that really helps with their application with Carmen, because she has some requirements there.
Okay, and we have quite a few questions left. I just want to address the audience that we still have about 13 questions, and I know a few more will probably come in as we go. We're at the 11 o'clock, top of the hour, but everyone is welcome to continue to stay on. We want to make sure that every question is addressed. So another question says, is it common for students to complete 548 and 549 courses, but then find themselves unable to acquire an internship opportunity directly? And how do we address, is there a time limitation or anything along those lines?
I believe academically, I think there's a 2-year requirement. It's a university requirement to complete the academic courses. I'm not sure about the internship component, but let me say the internship, and Carmen can follow up on this, is kind of like the weather. Sometimes they hire a bunch of people, and sometimes COVID hits and they don't want anybody, or they want everybody to be online, or they want everybody to be off campus or something. So there are a lot of variables that affect the hiring process, the hiring of faculty. The hiring season is at the end of the spring semester. Through the interview process is in the summer, and then the faculty come on board in the fall. But let me toss it over to Carmen, because she's the expert in the internship process.
I think what you want to do is understand that the internship is essentially the process to acquire a course as an adjunct. There is no difference here. So what we help you do is say the minute you enroll in a 548 or 549 class, you have leverage to approach the community college you're interested in teaching with, to approach that department and say, I would like an internship, because the internship actually helps you to build the rapport you need to acquire a course. So that original question is it possible for someone to take those 2 courses and then find themselves without an internship? Very much so, because you haven't approached the campus. Or maybe you only approached one, where I'm going to tell you, this is Southern California, you need to approach 5, you need to approach 10, right? I have an intern right now who's in the Bay Area, because we have students from all over actually. And I'm helping her to approach at least 3 to 5 campuses in the Bay Area. And it's been amazing, because really it just feels awkward at first. And so she did not acquire that internship the following semester. But now that we've talked and I've shown her the way and how easy it can be to make yourself approachable, she's ready for the spring. So you want to be in contact with your instructors here. Ramon and Rodger they really understand what you're up against. So don't be afraid to talk about it. And don't think you enroll in the class first and then your internship coordinator will help you get an internship. This is all you. Because we give you the ability to build that rapport. So it's really going to be up to you.
Right.
I haven't had a student so far, and I'm a little new, but when I get the students that are saying, you know, I didn't do it and I didn't get it and I didn't understand, and then I walk them through talking to faculty and talking to department chairs, the internships come. You gotta walk through.
I think I approach it like it's not just an application, it's a campaign. You have to really do the schedule, and I will teach you when they're actually doing the scheduling. And it's about trying to triangulate your area where you live or work, and then finding out the colleges that offer that particular subject that you want to teach. So there is a technique to this. There is not just, you know, the bang, send it. There is a technique to this, and I will try and teach you that technique to try and, you know, make a campaign out of this where, you know, you're looking at exactly how many you have to probably send out every time. But the key is really that it is now a sales call, that every opportunity where you meet a faculty member, a program chair, a dean, and you are interested in getting a job at their school, always have your elevator speech ready. Okay, what are you good at? Why should they hire you, kind of thing. Those are the simple advice I'd probably give you right now.
So kind of going back to what Carmen was just saying, Anita asked the question, do you guys share a contact list of past community colleges that have given past students an internship?
Absolutely.
Yes, we do.
There we go. So that's really helpful to have a pool of resources. But again, the work really is on the onus of the student to pursue, right? Leah asks, what is the amount of required experience for teaching? Does the internship satisfy the requirement? So if someone is applying to a position and they say you need X amount of experience.
The internship, it really helps individuals check the box that says teaching experience. Yes, I have a semester as a teaching intern through Cal State Dominguez Hills. Now, for those of you that have got 5 or 10 years of K-12 experience, you already know how to conduct yourself in the classroom. But for individuals who have coming out of industry, they're transitioning into education, the internship is your key, your foot in the door in terms of teaching experience. Wouldn't you say, Carmen?
Yes, and I was an intern. And immediately after my intern course, where I was given the opportunity to grade and lecture and all of that, I went right to the department chair and said, I'm ready to have a class. And before the semester ended, really. And I was like, you need me. I'm beautiful. I'm amazing. I was confident. And they couldn't say I hadn't done it. And one of the things you want to make sure you do is my faculty mentor wrote me a letter of recommendation to my future department chair. And I was able to present that evaluation in that form, and the future department chair read it and literally said, okay, well, I have you for 3:30 on Fridays. So this is the beauty of this program. It's going to get you in that seat and get you speaking with confidence, because prior to my internship, I would not have had that confidence to say, I can teach a classroom, I can work with students, I know what to do. I would not have had that confidence. And
let's talk about the confidence, because I'm looking, Monica says, okay, so just to clarify, I should approach the department chairs as soon as I start this program.
Yeah.
Or does it start with an email? I love it. That's the confidence that you're building up.
Yes.
And along those same lines, so Valerie says, after we complete our first internship class, can we choose to take another semester in an internship? I don't know if she means she wants to do 2 internships, or
let me
spend the time. But
let me, as your dean and vice president who conducts the job interview, once you get the experience is experience. The idea is to get a job and a faculty ID number and get a paycheck coming in as soon as possible. You don't want to spend any more semesters in limbo doing internships. The idea is get out there, get exposure, get experience, and get a job. That's what we want.
Great. We're going to address some of the logistics of the actual class participation. So Kimberly says, will any of the courses require attending class during weekdays or during work hours? How do we accommodate working professionals? And kind of leading into that, like how many hours are required to take if someone is already working full time?
You mean the class itself?
The classes themselves, right?
GED 549, at least for this upcoming session, is from about 9 to 2 o'clock Saturdays. That's 4 Saturdays. And so it's not going to infringe on your work time during the weekday, except for it is a lot of reading and homework. But the actual participation in the synchronous class is going to be from about 9 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday.
In the 548 class, the effective teaching class, we do our practice teaching in Zoom on Saturday. So that will be a requirement. You will get teaching exposure on the weekends. Yeah.
Okay. And just to clarify, again, the 548 and 549 can or cannot be taken concurrently. We just want to get that clarification out.
No, you have to take them sequentially.
Sequentially.
Okay. And someone asks anonymously with regards to 548, 549 lecture, is it presented in a webinar style and are lectures recorded if needed to be reviewed later?
I think that's something we need to discuss with management. I don't think we allow recording.
We do not.
No,
we do not. So we want to make sure that class participation and attendance is at a peak premium. That is the peak of the learning.
Yeah.
And will there be, let's see, planning to take 548 in the next start, and I've already taken 549. Should I start looking for an internship now? This is Lester asking the question. Absolutely. Okay. And it looks like we're coming right to the end of our questions. This is an interesting question. Elizabeth asks, so is a certificate, not certification, also helpful in teaching high school AP classes? Does that have any relevance to that?
Yes, absolutely. It is the same subject. It is the same methodology that I apply when I'm at Wilmington High School or the Prep Academy or San Pedro High School. It's just that you're assigned and you probably have to make sure you recognize the demographics. These are younger students, but the people that take the AP classes are very motivated, very motivated.
Okay. And I know that there's a couple of last questions regarding the cost and the details. Scheduling information and WIOA is provided in our information kit, which is the bit.ly/CSUDH CCTC-info kit. I can't believe I remember that. So thank you, Ishaka, for asking that. And I think at this point, we have addressed all of our questions. So I just want to take a moment to thank all of our panelists, our instructors. Ramon, Rodger, Carman, you've done a fantastic job with providing a wealth of information. So we appreciate you, and I'm going to go ahead and launch back into the close of our program. And so at this point, we have covered a great deal of information, but we know that you may have some additional questions. You may have follow-up details that you want to ask the instructors. So if you can, please get in touch with the instructors using the email addresses that you see on the screen. And the addresses are also provided in the information kit. And then as far as the next steps, we want to make sure that if you have any particular questions for the program, please contact us during our business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 243-2075 or email learn@csudh.edu. And then when you're ready to go ahead and get registered and you have all of your information ready to go, please contact our registration office. They'll be standing by to take your registrations via phone at 310-243-3741, option number 1. And we will make sure that we get you all of your details right away. So this concludes our Community College Teaching Certificate Program information session. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Again, feel free to connect with us on our website, on our social media. And we have a Facebook page, a LinkedIn group, and we want your active participation in those. And remember to register early to get your spot in your preferred classes. So we'd also like to get your feedback on today's session. Please let us know how we can improve the quality of the information provided by visiting bit.ly/CSUDH-webinar-feedback. And for the live attendees, this link will appear in your web browser at the close of the session, as well as in your follow-up email. We'll stay in the session for a few minutes more to give everyone a moment to jot down last-minute notes and download the Community College Teaching Information Kit from the chat panel. The recording for the session will be online shortly on our website and our YouTube channel. And when you're ready to leave today's session, simply click the red leave button in the corner of your screen. Once again, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you attending and we look forward to seeing you in class. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.